Getting a chest with just calisthenics can be a challenge, but as someone who has trained chest primarily with bodyweight for 6 years, I have done countless different bodyweight chest exercises and was able to figure out which ones were amazing and which ones were mid. So today in this video, I'm going to be ranking calisthenics chest exercises from best to worst. Let's start off with a classic calisthenics chest exercise, the push-up. It's a classic for a reason, because it works. The straight horizontal pressing targets your entire chest relatively evenly, and with the right form and effort, you can get an amazing chest with just push-ups. They're beginner friendly, easy to do, and they target the chest, no problem. That's why these are heavily included in my Protagonist Method program. And these would get a solid S tier if it weren't for only one reason. I've gone further beyond. I am 5 parallel universes beyond push-ups. I'm basically Goku. What I'm trying to say is while push-ups are amazing, they're very easy to outgrow quickly. As you get stronger, you'd have to do 30, 40, or 50 push-ups just to reach muscular failure. And at that point, it's less of a chest exercise and more cardio. Not to say never do push-ups, but I usually save them for the end of a workout as a sort of finisher, when my chest is already pretty fatigued. But as the main chest builder, it's hard to continue doing them without adding external load, like doing weighted push-ups. But these guys still get a sexy A tier. Of course, as everyone knows, there are other variations of push-ups. So we're going to take a look at the most common variations that people say to do for developing that Baki level chest. And a lot of people swear by this next push-up variation as the main chest builder. And that's going to be wide push-ups. It's just like regular push-ups, but wider. It's genius, I know. With these, the wider grip changes the leverage on the chest and actually adds a little more load to it and uses far less triceps. Now, I used to do these a lot at the start of my journey and they were pretty good, but nowadays, I don't really do them that much. The extra chest stress is quite nice, but the extra stress on my shoulders is very unwelcome. These are really good if you want to strengthen that plane of motion, try to exercise your shoulders so that they become more robust. But I wouldn't say this is the most reliable chest exercise. It's not bad, but it could be better. These get a C tier. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have diamond push-ups. And it actually has the opposite effect of wide push-ups by putting more stress on the triceps and a little bit less on the chest. Weirdly though, when I do diamond push-ups, I feel it a lot more in my chest than wide push-ups. It might be because of the close grip. I contract my chest harder, because my hands are closer together. And some of you might agree or disagree. Now again, these are tricep dominant, which does take away from potential chest gains. And also, these hurt my wrists a little bit. So, that sucks. Maybe I'm just getting old. But these are decent for chest and a good progression from regular push-ups. I'll give these a B tier. But besides changing grip, you can also change where your hands are relative to your body, such as in the next exercise, pseudo-planche push-ups. When you lower your hands closer to your waist, you'll naturally put more stress on your chest muscles. You'll notice this right away. If you start leaning forward in your push-up, it makes it slightly harder. This is because as you lean forward, your hands require more and more forward force to keep you upright in the first place. Rather than the regular push-up, your arms are already stacked on top of each other. But that's not always a good thing. The thing about pseudo-planche push-ups is, yes, they target the chest more, but it also directs a lot, if not all of the attention, to your shoulders. So this exercise is a lot more of a shoulder-dominant exercise. And by the time your shoulders fatigue, your chest probably has like a few more reps in the tank. Still, this is great exercise, but not if you're really trying to focus on that chest. These get a D tier, respectfully. Now, instead of trying to change our hands, let's try to change our body position, such as with pike push-ups. Look, I'm not going to waste your time. These are not targeting your chest. Maybe you could argue that they have a little bit of upper chest, but I mean, come on. This is a shoulder exercise through and through. It's great exercise, I promise you, but it ain't for the chest. F tier. Well, what if instead of changing our hands, we change our feet? And with decline push-ups, we can do just that. By raising our feet, not only are we increasing difficulty, but we're also targeting specific parts of the chest, the upper chest. I love these as a progression to regular push-ups, and they feel amazing. If I find that one of my students is doing too many push-ups to reach failure, I tell them immediately, just try decline push-ups, and then boom, instant progress. And I would put these in S tier if it weren't for this one particular problem. The biggest issue with this exercise is the range of motion. If you do these on the floor, you either have to compensate by doing less range of motion or banana backing the exercise, which takes away from the decline push-up. Still, these are quite good. Highly recommend. A tier. Now declines are great, but this next exercise is a sleeper. In fact, nobody ever thinks to do these, but once they do, they never go back. Introducing deficit push-ups. Oh my. Using parallettes or anything to elevate your hands, you add even more range of motion to the push-up. The stretch feels awesome, and the extra range of motion actually helps to make the push-up a little more difficult. It's simple, yet effective. It's amazing. Go do it. Do it right now. S tier. But here's a wacky idea. What if we took one push-up variation and then another push-up variation, and they had a baby? They would probably birth decline, deficit, push-ups. Baby, yes. Not only do these have the benefit of decline push-ups, but they mitigate the downsides of decline push-ups because you have the freaking deficit push-ups. Plus, they target the upper chest, which is awesome for the aesthetics. And I do these all of the time because they are so effective. S+ tier, baby. Let's go. Next up, the powerhouse of push-ups, the explosive push-up. A very simple maneuver. Push hard and fast so that you push yourself off of the ground, exploding off of the ground, if you will. A great way to overload the regular push-up. But is it the best for growing the chest? The short answer? Not really. The long answer, the explosive push-up serves as an inferior methodology for developing the pectoralis muscles using the basis fundamentals of calisthenics. You're welcome. Essentially, explosive push-ups can develop the chest, but they're mainly used for explosive movements. Specific adaptations impose demands, and there are better exercises that can specifically grow the chest. While decent, not the best. C tier. Now, explosive push-ups are cool and all, but let's talk about the king of all push-ups, the one-arm push-up. When I introduced these into my training, I did feel my chest get bigger and more pumped. The fact that I'm pushing like 60% of my body weight with just one arm is totally insane. Of course, it's going to grow the chest, but it does come with some downsides. For one, it imposes a lot of stress on the core and the rest of the body, meaning it kind of takes away from the actual chest movement. I'm gesturing to my boobs a lot in this video. I feel like I've done that too many times. Eyes up here. Eyes up here, buddy. Since in the one-arm push-up, you need to keep everything tight together and prevent yourself from twisting, yeah, it might take away from the chest. Second downside, not that beginner-friendly. So you're probably not going to do that many reps, and that's not that optimal for muscle hypertrophy. And if you're the average Joe, you're probably not going to jump into these in order to get some Baki-level chests. While I love this exercise, I'm giving these guys a B tier. Now, if you can't do one-arm push-ups, but you still want to benefit from this exercise, you should consider this next exercise. Archer push-ups. Like the one-arm push-up, you primarily push with one side, but unlike the one-arm push-up, you have support from the other arm. And that makes it so much easier, and it's easier to accumulate reps without much issue. There's much less demand on core stability, so you can focus on purely pushing with your chest. And ever since I started doing these, I've had amazing growth. But still, it does require a bit of experience to pull off, and the stability is still kind of an issue, but still an awesome choice, and I incorporate these all the time. A tier. Now, there is an exercise that I used to never do, but now that I've continued doing them, I don't think I can ever stop. And that's ring push-ups. These are one of the most powerful push-ups in my honest opinion. First up, the rings provide extra range of motion, and I've already talked about why that's good, but the real magic is in the instability. Throughout the whole movement, your pecs are working to stabilize the entire movement through and through, preventing your body from shaking and falling, meaning you add even more stimuli to the chest and provide even more constant tension under the load that is your body. So if you hate having a big chest, skip this exercise because this bad boy is S tier. Now, a common exercise that everybody loves to do when they start going to the gym is bench dips. This exercise is when you lean back on a bench or chairs, have your feet resting on the ground, and perform dips. And while it's not a bad exercise per se, it's definitely not targeting the chest. Since your hands are behind your back always, you're not bringing them forward, you're not actually contracting them that much. This is honestly just a triceps exercise. A pretty good triceps exercise, but that's not what we're after here. We're not after the triceps. We're here for big boobies and man milkers. Also, it's boring. The exercise is boring, and that's the worst crime of all. So, F tier. Well, you know what works even better than bench dips? Regular ass dips. Regular dips. They call it the squat of the upper body for a reason, because you're pushing your entire body weight with just your chest, shoulders, and triceps. And the best part is, you can specifically target the lower chest, but if you adjust the angle a bit, you can actually target the middle chest as well. And with the nature of the movement, you get a nice stretch on the pecs. Honestly, I think dips are probably one of the best and most accessible exercises that anybody can do. These get a great S tier. But if there was a variation that was slightly better than dips, specifically for the chest, it would probably have to be straight bar dips. By using a table or counter, you basically perform the dip but stop when your chest hits the surface. I'm not sure what it is, but it might just be me. This exercise, I feel it more in my chest than regular dips. Could be the angle, could be the hand position. I have no clue. What I do know is that if you want to build a chest, do these. These will go in S tier. I would put them above dips, specifically for the chest. But all of these exercises I just told you are completely useless if you have no idea how to use them to your advantage, especially if you only have the capability to do push-ups. So if you don't have time to mess with the noise and random ass exercises, then you can watch this video right here to actually unlock an anime level chest with just push-ups.